Hello, now our word for today is obliterate, because these three YouTube blokes just obliterated their channel and subsequently kind of rebuilt it after. Now, I'm not a huge YouTuber by any means. I'm what they call a nano YouTube channel. But I would argue I'm a pico YouTube channel, like 1,000 times smaller than a nano channel. Well, but let us learn from one big example on how to properly sabotage your channel and pick up the pieces after. So without further ado, let's begin our masterclass. So first, let's go over their catastrophic meltdown that serves as a catalyst for the shitstorm they went through. So about a week ago, the channel Watcher, or formerly known as BuzzFeed Unsolved, posted this video titled Goodbye YouTube. So at first impression, what I initially thought was, okay, they're trying to capitalize the Goodbye YouTube setting off by the OG creators like MatPat and Tom Scott, because they are a creator from many years ago. So at first impression is like, oh my god, they're leaving, huh? But that's up until you watch the video. And they start cooking and added some greed, salt, and insensitivity pepper in there. And the dish they served up left a bad taste in their fans' mouth. So as cooks, let us dissect the dish, the horrid dish that they served up. So let's go.
Alrighty. As sad as it is to say goodbye to YouTube, it's the right thing to do.
If this is my last time on YouTube, then baby, what a life I've lived here on this platform.
I grew up on YouTube. All of my heroes were on YouTube. I learned how to be a human on YouTube. Taking a step away from it, it's just tough because I've always really loved and cared about the YouTube community, so it's hard to leave.
So why stop it then? So at first they started as a group of people that really loves YouTube, and they started tear-jerking us and pounding on our hearts as a viewers on their journey. And this actually really proves my point that they are really digging in that sweet goodbye long-time YouTuber trend, expecting to gain tons and tons of views, and maybe they're expecting it to be top on trending, like MatPat's video, which they did accomplish that goal, but for a different reason.
I'm very happy with the progress that we've made over here at Watcher over these past 4.5 years, but it feels like we are just at the point where we've hit a bit of a ceiling in terms of what YouTube is able to offer.
More than 50% of our business is run by advertising. We are relying on ads to make money, to pay the bills, to run this office, to make beautiful content for all of you guys out there. Unfortunately, over time, the deals that we were getting in 2019, 2020 are looking a lot different than they are today. It's difficult to make the stuff that we want to make and also then appeal to the advertisers as well.
So now the point they're making is that advertisers are much more difficult to please than the viewers. But at this one, I would agree with Moist Critical on this.
And at their size, those are significant numbers that we're looking at. Over half of their videos of the last 20 are brand partnered. It doesn't seem like they were really struggling to get brands on their content, so I don't exactly know what he means by staying relevant to brands.
Yeah, because they are much more advertiser friendly than him. So essentially, they are abandoning their audience and paywalling their content because they are having a hard time making both advertisers and audience happy. But they are actually telling the truth is that ads is what makes a YouTuber tons of cabbages. And now that's not enough. We are now paywalling our content starting now because you can't just have this quality for free. That's blasphemy talking.
My proudest moments have been being able to hire incredible people. So growing our staff from 3 to 6 to 10 to 20 to 25.
Now what struck me the most is this, because I actually do know a thing or two about running a business, because we do actually own a small business. So they said that they have grown their team from 3 to 25. And what they're saying is their solution in which they inevitably come up to is you need to pay us more so we can pay this huge numbers of employees that we are hiring. What? Because I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I watch their content, the most fun moments for me is where they sit down and discuss what happened, or in general, watching the three of them and their unique personalities, like this comment right here. Honestly, I miss the low-budget BuzzFeed Unsolved videos. They were charming and authentic. The production value on Ghost Files is amazing, but it detracts from the down-to-earth feeling that made me love Unsolved so much. I'd rather watch Ryan bring a water pistol full of holy water to a Goatman's bridge and Shane then claiming the bridge as his own than watch a more conventional high-production TV episode. Yeah, exactly. Like the audience is watching them for them, not the big production, because it will lack the most essential aspect of being a YouTuber, which is authenticity. I actually had more fun listening to them rather than watching them, to be quite honest. And by the way, take note they have multiple streamlines of income, so they just couldn't say that they solely rely on YouTube ads and now we have to leave it because it ain't making us money anymore. Oh, poor us. But in reality, they have YouTube ads, sponsorships, live show tickets, merchandise, and a Patreon with 4-tier offers on it. And as of now, has almost 14,000 members. And from what I know, that is not spit money. That's multiple huge sources of income. And that's more than enough to pay for all of their costs and then some. But I don't know, to each their own, I guess. Can't blame them from wanting more. And may that money be for them personally or for production, we do not know. But you gotta admit, you can really feel the greed sipping in.
It costs a certain amount to make content in the way that we do it. Quality that you would find on, say, a Netflix. In doing so, it does cost a certain amount. I'm not sitting here complaining that is the bed we've made. Everyone has different missions they're marching towards on YouTube. Ours was to make a television show.
So because of that, it really rubbed people, mostly their fans, the wrong way. And now while they say they weren't, but listening to them actually seemed like they were complaining. Now here comes the insensitive part. So first up, the cost.
Steven, talk about money.
Yeah, what's this price?
You can become a member of Watcher for $5.99 a month or $59.99 a year.
We want to keep the price low enough where anybody and everybody is able to afford it, but it also has to support the things that we do here. So that was the number that just made the most sense for the streamer.
So it's $6 monthly or $5.99 for yearly. So you heard that they said that $6 is what anyone could be able to afford. Whoa, $6 is not some loose change. It is not irrelevant. And sure, yeah, that might be true. Let's be real here. There are some people that have $6 laying around their spare money. But the big question is whether or not they want to spend their $6 on your streaming platform. It's like Netflix versus your platform. Which provides more value? Me personally, I won't be spending money for that service. No offense to them, of course. Because as they describe it, it will just function just like another Patreon. But what really comes across as insensitive is the last part.
But at the same time, this is our final goodbye to YouTube. And you know, if it's our goodbye to you, I hope it's not, but if it is, I do want to say thank you for supporting us.
Your viewership has allowed us to do all these wonderful things that we've done these past 4 years.
They always reiterate that viewership is what made them, and now they're stopping it because no money, not enough money. So it just confuses the shit out of me. Why bite the hand that fed you all those years? And this?
We hope that you'll come along for the ride.
And help us continue to build.
Yeah.
Build this thing out even bigger. That's the hope at least, but either way, it's been fun. Thanks, guys.
When I first heard that, it's like from the Toy Story scene where in the I don't want to play with you anymore. Your fun will not continue to you unless you pay us more. And now if you're not willing to pay us more, well then, toodaloo motherf***. They really sugarcoated the shit out of that segment. And the cherry on top of that poop cake is this post from Steven Lim. I gave everything I had to YouTube over the past 12 years, but it's finally time to say goodbye. Today marks the day we officially moved to our independent streaming platform, Watcher. For those who won't be joining us on this next chapter, thank you for all the love and support, but I wouldn't be here without you. And for those who want to continue watching, you can become a member of our streaming service at WatcherTV.com. to access everything we make, completely ad-free. Hope to see you there. Arrogance is afraid of this man. See? Tell me you don't see the Toy Story reference. For those viewers who watched us for free in the past, thanks, I guess. But enough of that. Let's go over to the ones that will pay, that who really wants us to truly continue. Come here. Come, give us a big hug. Yes, you're the focus now. So after that video, pandemonium ensued, and the comments are just going and almost bursting through the roof. Like this. These mofos recorded, edited, rewatched it, and said, yep, this is it, and posted it. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become BuzzFeed. Did I just get laid off as a Watcher fan? Hey patrons, if you want to skip this video, here's a quick summary of what the guys had to say. I hope you guys follow us this one last time. Is crazy. I'm proud of the community we've fostered. Leaves the community they've fostered. So the category number 5 hurricane with a chance of poop lasted for about 3 days, then they backpedaled a little bit, just enough to rebuild their shattered family portrait. Then they issued an apology, and the only thing that's missing here is the ukulele with the toxic gossip train jingle. But nevertheless, it's definitely a step to a brighter path.
With that in mind, we're making some changes to ensure that there's a way for our community to continue watching our content for free.
If you want to watch our shows early and ad-free, you can catch them on the Watcher platform a month earlier. After that, you'll be able to watch our shows on YouTube for free.
Yeah, that's completely fair, because that change, it will cater to the OG viewers on YouTube, which functions similarly like a Patreon, a second Patreon I would say, where there are exclusive early access available. Then when it reaches a certain time point, then they will post it free on YouTube. That's completely fair. Now let's get into the reasons again why they are doing this.
However, we were finding it harder and harder to stay relevant to advertisers and the constantly changing YouTube landscape. We didn't want to compromise our content to ensure they met advertising requirements. And we definitely did not want to lay people off that have brought Watcher to life behind the scenes.
Okay, I get it. The production cost is on the top of the list. I understand. But if the production cost is beginning to outweigh the profit, the solution is not always to charge more, because you cannot always expect people to understand. Because like you said, the viewers on YouTube is what made you who you are. So I don't get why that thought even crossed their minds to abandon the audience that made them on YouTube.
And we didn't want to bring Watcher to a close, which would have happened if we stayed solely on YouTube.
But they are not though, because like we discussed earlier, they have multiple streams of income. It's not solely YouTube. They have enough, but I guess not enough for them, because like they said, most of the chunk of the cost is for traveling and labor fee.
A Ghost Files episode. First, we have to travel to the location itself. We have to pay the location fee. We have to pay freelance staff that comes to help us shoot that when we're shooting in the studio. We have to pay for the studio to shoot the actual episode in. Then we have to pay for post. Before that, we also have to do the pre-production of the episode. And when you add that all up, we're talking about an end of a season that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars.
So why not make a couple of videos with no traveling involved? Just sit down and talk, which most people, from what I can see, love the most. Cut down the traveling and rent fee and those freelance staff fee, and that's what I think will significantly cut down the cost. Build budget for your next big venture, then rinse and repeat, because that's how I would do it if paying staff is such a big burden to you, and if, like you said, that is gonna crumble your business if you don't. Because from what it looks like, the staff is the major problem, because they kept on saying that we need to pay the staff, so there is an option to lay off the staff at the worst case scenario. They just don't want to. It sounds like they would rather take down the business rather than seeing their staff go. Well, it's the unfortunate truth for business owners, because in the worst possible case, it's either your staff or your business. When the time of desperation comes, you can't pick both. It sucks, but it's the harsh reality.
However, we realized that in figuring out the logistics of what this might take, we overlooked the way it would impact all of you. We hope you'll be patient with us through these mistakes, and we remain incredibly sorry that they were made in the first place.
Yes, and overlooked they did. And if they didn't decide to backpedal a little bit, that could have been way worse. Because they could always double down like what Pokimane did with their cookies, the if you're a broke boy, just say so.
Or like, oh my god, $28 for cookies? It's 4 bags. That's $7 a bag. I know math is hard when you're an idiot, but like if you're a broke boy, just say so. Anyways.
But in Watcher's case, it's their streaming platform, and they could just always go for the broke boy route, but they didn't, which I completely respect. And they listen to the audience, and that's always for the better, so good on them. And the most important thing, that in this video they said that we are sorry code and took responsibility, as it should be. And they also addressed the Patreon members, because in the previous video they didn't. They made it seem, they made it look like that as a Patreon member, you should also subscribe to the Watcher TV. It's a huge middle finger to them. And it's not enough that you pay us $50, and you need to pay us $6 more. And you see, they said that the Patreon is a huge part of their career.
We also want to directly address our Patreon community, who have played such a key role in supporting us from the very beginning.
So that immediately contradicts their statement that they solely rely on YouTube ads for money.
All current Patreon members will receive a free subscription code to the platform. If you already purchased a subscription, please contact us and we will issue you a full refund.
And it's a good thing that they clarified that their Patreon gets a free membership and will issue a full refund if they did sign up to the streaming service as well. Because if they didn't, that will leave a stinky feces to their fans' mouths. So overall, a very acceptable apology. And I'm happy that they made the changes to cater to their actual maker, the YouTube audience, which I think is the better ending from the shitstorm they made. A very good compromise for both parties, I believe. So that concludes our masterclass on how to obliterate your channel and glue-stick your reputation back together. Brought to you by the Couch Bros. So that's all there is to it. Thanks for watching. Bye.